Easy, no
I did
jumping.
it. How are you doing, Kori? How's your foot?
Off. No. My foot is fine. Karma she is the main culprit of jumping on it. So now I'm wondering if she was the one that took me out at the knees or if it was both of them. They were both there.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Probably a combination of both of them. They teamed
yeah.
up on you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They came running around the side of the house and I was back too and my legs went up.
Yeah, that almost happened to me this morning. Walter ran into me pretty hard.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No fractures.
Oh no, we're good over here.
Good.
So how are things going for you, Kori, like with the dogs and stuff?
Oh my goodness. So I've been doing little bits of crate training with them and they've been doing fine. They've been going in, no fuss, like when we ask them to. So that's great. Coming home though, oh my gosh, they get so excited and I have scratches down my legs because they jump on me and because they get so excited and I try to ignore or barricade myself or many different or let them directly outside and yeah, nothing seems to be helping either which way.
So when you're coming into the house is when they're jumping all over you?
Yes, and it's not just me, it's when anybody comes to the house. So I
Have
really
you-
want to.
Have you set up some situations to practice proper social breedings yet? Like had somebody come through and like have them on a leash and practice that expectation?
We had some, but not consistently.
Okay.
And yeah, and then my foot happened and we just really haven't done literally anything since then, just making sure that they're separated and safe because it's just I can't if something were to happen, I can't get to either of them in time. So
Right.
yeah. But no, I have not done that because then I wonder like should I do them both at the same time? Should I try to kennel one and work with one at a time? Or like what should I do with that? Because they'll do it with anybody. So like if Chris came outside and came back in, it would be the perfect time to practice it because they get that excited with everybody for the most part.
Yeah. I would have them on. Do you want to jump in, Jordan?
Oh, I was just gonna say I would do both. Because like obviously if they're both going crazy and like, you know, kind of feeding off of each other, it's gonna be hard to do that training with both of them right off the bat. But if you do like a little bit with each one of them individually so they know what it is you're asking for, and then it'll make it a lot easier to do it with them together. Because you definitely want to work on it with them together since like most of the time they're out and about and they're feeding and whatever and they'll be feeding off of each other. But if you can like do it with one time, one with the other the next time, and then like both of them. And obviously when you try to do it with both of them, try to do it like when they're slightly less excited. Or like if you know that Chris is going to be coming home at a specific time, if you want to like take him outside like right prior to that, let him run a bit of that off so that they're not quite as like energetic and excitable and stuff like that, and then do it, that would probably help too. That way they're not just like little balls of pent up energy that you're trying to manage.
Right. Yeah. But as far as letting them out of the crate, like should I like leash them as soon as they come out and then kind of control them that way, or just because usually what I do is let them out and then they either jump. One will start jumping and then the other one will jump on the other one.
Gotcha. Okay. Because like Hershey kind of has a habit of doing that too. And usually with him, like what I do that works really good for them is, and I know this is going to be a little bit harder for you because you have obviously your foot in a cast, but what I'll do is I'll like hold each one of the dogs kind of on like either and just hold them separate and I'll like hold them with my thumbs and like pat their, like scratch their chest like this, so that like I'm getting to say hi to both of them. They're not trying to like jump over the other one to like get to me or anything like that. And I'll say hello. And it also gives you the ability to kind of hold them down a little bit so that they can't keep launching up at you. Because essentially they're just trying to get over the other one to get to you. So like if you can like kind of hold them and say hi to both of them, and then like get them outside or wherever so they can run off some more of that. That's usually what I do. And like with Hershey, like I know Eve isn't necessarily a big like toy player with her. But I know like with Hershey, what I'll do is I'll like immediately be like, "Where's your ball? Like, do you?" He heard me. He's like, I don't know. But I'll usually ask him like, "Where's your ball? Like, do you want to play?" And then he knows that like that's his cue. Like, okay, like I'm being too much. Let's go get my toy and play a little bit, and then toss a couple times if he's good. So like, it's like really about controlling that immediate reaction and then redirecting some of that energy so that like they know you still want to see them, you still want to play, still want to engage, but that like not like that because they're gonna hurt you.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would add to that, I would say as much as possible, restrict that ability to jump up, you know, so they cannot continue to do that, whether you're holding their collar and you're going down to their level, or you have them on a leash and you're kind of standing on it so they can't come up. But if you can restrict that movement so they can associate a greeting with my feet on the floor, and reward when they're doing that, so they can make that association that, you know, when I greet somebody, I've got to have my feet down, you know?
Right. Okay.
Yep. And it's really hard because a lot of it, and why we say practice it is because so many people walk through the door and they won't really know what they're supposed to be doing with your dog. And if your dog gets away with it with, you know, your sister or your mom.
Yeah,
You know,
I always if it's someone I've coached a lot of the people that come here regularly, so that way they do know to
Good.
just ignore them or push them off. Like, don't reward that behavior. Like, continue talking to me and get through the door, and then they'll calm. It's usually they calm down within a couple minutes now, and they like
Good.
they're like, oh, okay, it's fine. But it's it does take like the initial couple minutes.
Yeah. That's good though. If the ignoring and stuff works for you, that's, you know, that's a good way to go about it. With some dogs that doesn't really work because that
With
jumping
one of them it
behavior
kind of does, with
reward-
the other it does not.
Yeah. Well,
He
it's
needs a little bit more.
It's a self-rewarding behavior. You know, they're immediately rewarding themselves when they jump up on you. So it's a hard one to break.
Yeah.
You know, then you have to make it so it's not rewarding for the dog to jump on you, you know.
Right.
But yeah, I love the redirection idea, you know, because dogs get so fixated on one thing. And if it's greeting you, it's really hard to like, they're so overstimulated and over the top that it can be hard to like calm them. But like if you can redirect them, like Jordan said with a ball, redirection is like
the better transition.
I think so. I love it.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
use it redirection all the time.
Yeah, it just makes it a lot easier because like especially with like really bubbly and excited dogs, like I don't want to like ever make my dog feel like they shouldn't be excited to see me, or like, you know, like I don't want them, because like a lot of people will say like I've heard other trainers say like, well, just leave them in their kennel until they calm down, and I'm like, what? Like, how is like fair to your dog?
One would never calm down, and so I am very fearful of that because Eve, it took her so long to be comfortable and not running away from everybody. Like now she doesn't run away. So I definitely like, I don't want to reward the bad behavior, but I don't want her to regress either and be super fearful of everything again. So I feel like I'm trying to walk a fine line.
You take them out. You said you take them out and for rides and stuff. Do you take them out in public at all?
Not together anymore because it's too hard to deal with them both. And then I was fine if I would go out and work with one. The one that was left in the vehicle was causing a big fuss. They weren't okay with being there by themselves. So
did you, okay, couple of things here, but did you leave the dog that was waiting for you in the vehicle with something to chew on or something that might be like, you know, high value for them?
Not every time.
Okay.
But
Did it make a
even
difference?
anytime, like if we just like anytime like want like Karma is very reactive to dogs and other things outside of the car. Eve doesn't really care unless she's by herself, and then she's whining and pawing at the window.
Yeah.
And I don't think unless I gave Eve food, she would not care. But yeah.
I think that socialization piece is really beneficial for so many reasons, but maybe if they go out and they see more in the world and they see more people, they're not so excited by everything, if that makes sense, you know?
Yeah. Well, Eve, that's where like it's hard because Eve, Karma is very excited about a lot of things, and Eve was afraid of a lot of things. And now that Karma's here, she'll be like next to her. Like she's more brave because of the other dog.
Yeah.
She's not as afraid of everything. And it's like even with people coming in, like there's one lady that I have no idea why she's so afraid of this lady, but every time this lady comes in the house, Eve will run away and Karma will go right to her, and once in a while Eve will come up a little bit and like sniff her and then run away. So she like we still have this very fearful things every once in a while, and I'm still figuring out what they are because I just don't. It's weird with that one. she's a different little creature.
It's not as predictable as you would like it to be.
Not even close.
Those dogs are always like the hardest ones because like the ones that are predictable, it's really easy to like target it, and then like some dogs just pick up on like weird vibes from like random people, you know, like my old dog Koda, he was pretty much like the friendliest dog in the entire world, and like if he didn't like you or like he didn't warm up to you, like there was a reason, and like you might not have known the reason for that like right at the moment, but like there was a reason, whether like they were like afraid of dogs or they just didn't like dogs, or maybe like they just have a bad aura about them. Like I think especially fearful dogs, like they pick up on that sort of stuff a lot easier than the dogs that like love everybody, like Bruce. Like I don't think I've ever met anybody that Bruce doesn't like or like won't approach or whatever. He's like, you know, you kind of like, but like with Eve, I would say she's probably like, or maybe she had a bad experience with like a random lady one time, and that lady kind of smells like the lady, like who knows, like there's all sorts of like random stuff that can like make dogs go off, but she probably just has some sort of bad vibe towards her. You know, like she's giving off some sort of bad juju. Another thing I was gonna say about the crate thing when like you're taking them out. So like, does Karma tend to be the one that's like, which one is more excited? Is there one of them that's more excited over the other, or more likely to jump than the other?
Karma gets more vocal excited. Eve, yeah, no, I guess Karma gets more excited about it, and as soon as Karma gets out, or as soon as Eve gets out, she will start to jump, and then Karma will jump on Eve because Eve is jumping on me, and she like bites her head and tries to bring her back down.
Gotcha. Okay, because the other thing I was gonna say you could try doing, like especially because your foot is like messed up, so like I don't want them to try to like, if you're trying to meet them low, I don't want them to still jump up. So the other thing you could do is like grab a treat pouch, like right before you let them out of the kennel, and then let Eve out, and like you know, just have like every single
Puppy
second
sit-ups real quick.
Yeah, exactly. And you're just kind of like enticing her like with those treats. And so like let her out as long as she's keeping those 4 feet on the floor, keep like just giving her like little treats, telling her good job for like keeping 4 on the floor, whatever. Let Karma out, do it with both of them, like as you're getting them outside. And then that's usually when like I'll do like the redirection with the ball or something, because obviously like you're not going to want to be like throwing the ball like in your house or whatever and like getting them all sorts of crazy. But like if you can use the treats to kind of help them learn like, okay, like this is our routine, like we come out of our kennels, we go outside, we get our babies out, and then like we can like bond and hang out more. That might work too. And plus then you kind of have like a lure where like you could even have one dog on each side and you're like walking them nicely outside, and then you get out there, throw the ball for Karma a couple times and go from there. Because I think if you could keep Eve under control so she doesn't start the jumping, that will help Karma not feel the need to do it too. So like if she responds really to the treats and you can use that, you could even like if you wanted to like have like one of those like plastic spatulas or whatever, or 2 of them, and just like dip them in like peanut butter real quick. So like you don't have to have a lot of it, but then like as soon as you let her out of the kennel, just let her like see like the spatula. As soon as her nose goes to it, like reward her for staying down, let Karma out, same thing, and go on about your way. So like whatever would be easiest for you, but like if they're really responsive to food and treats, that would probably help a lot too, because then you're kind of like guiding and luring the
Yeah,
exact behavior.
Eve for sure. And as soon as Karma notices Eve is doing something, then she's like, "Oh, okay, I'll do that too."
Right.
Are they
how it works.
responsive to your no reward marker? Is that working out for you?
It's like 50-50. Sometimes it's been 50-50, I guess. Sometimes it works okay. And again, it depends on everyone's energy level and what's going on exactly, but
I would definitely do some practice with that, reinforce that. So, you have that tool in your back pocket and they're more responsive to it. I don't know if you use no or but dogs seem to really respond to for some strange reason. It's very strange, but like just reinforce that no reward marker. So like setting them up with treats and like, giving the cue and then rewarding them for offering you something different. So that way they associate that, if I give her something different, when I hear that, then it's a rewarding thing. That's what she's looking for. But I would probably like just reinforce that some more so it works for you more consistently than it is. Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's easy to like to help with the reward marker. Like if you are gonna do like the greeting them low and like have the trick in the collar, that makes it really easy because like you can feel obviously as soon as they go to like jump up. So as soon as you feel them starting to do that reward marker, and then hold them down. And then as soon as you don't feel them putting that upward pressure on your hand again, you can like start rewarding them heavily again. So like, like if they're like jumping, like trying to like jump, like while you're holding them down and you give them that, and then they stop doing that, good. Give them lots of loving. And then if you feel them start trying to do it again, you stop petting, give them that.
Yeah, I try to do that anyways, like as a rule when reacting them, because Eve will demand attention. So yeah, I try to make sure that we're not feeding into that behavior when they get pushy or excited or whatever. So yeah, I will make sure I try to keep them
and
like
that's
keep
what
the
Jordan said
attention
earlier. It's nice that they want your attention, and they're excited to see you, but right back to that redirection too, like work on her offering you something different. Like instead of a jump up, maybe it's going to get a toy. My dogs like to bring me a toy when I walk through the door, and it's like the cutest thing. They go.
I
and they
think
grab
I can do that with Karma probably, but Eve, I find if I just tell her to sit or lie down, she will do that first, and she'll like sit there and look at me expectantly, and then then she wants all the loves. But
Yeah, that's great though.
She'll do those. Yeah, she'll start to do those.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I know like Hershey, like when he gets that excited, he'll like sit, but his whole body is like shaking, like he looks like he's about to have a seizure. So that's why I like I go the correction route just 'cause, like I feel watching him like shake, trying to like control saying hi to me, like, oh.
Yeah, I really like that. The redirection for the more excitable dog, that definitely. And if you practice that with them, like, oh, that it's rewarding to bring you a toy when you get home, that's so much better than a jump up on your leg,
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, let's touch base on the girls' interaction, because I definitely want to make sure that we cover what's going on.
There was an empty bottle of lotion on the floor, and she got like lip snarly about that when Karma got close to her. So it's stupid things. Or Karma will have the toy that she's been playing with for hours, and then Eve will just take it and just sit with it. So I usually go over and take it and give it back to because she doesn't tattle, but she'll come over to me like with nothing in her mouth and like look at me like, hey, help.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been doing with that. But Eve she couldn't care less about toys. Once in a while, like an antler chew or something. Other than that, she does not care.
Yeah.
Unless Karma has it.
And when you just take the stuff away and give it back to Karma, how does Eve respond then?
Some I'm not consistent about it, but sometimes I'll give her a treat or something else instead, even if if it's another toy, she doesn't usually seem to care, but she always loves treats. So I'll trade her, or sometimes she doesn't do anything. She just looks at me doesn't no expression, no like trying to go after it when my hand's there. If I tell her to drop it, she puts it right in my hand, even if Karma's face is right here. So it's very weird.
Yeah.
Not like no two incidences are ever the same. So
well, I mean the good news is at least like that kind of confirms to me that it's not necessarily a resource guarding thing. It's her just wanting to
is it gonna be that because now I found on the internet the sibling or whatever syndrome, and like they're not like super close in age, but they're not, I mean, I think they're like 6 months or more apart.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit more than that. I don't know. I have it written down. I don't remember dates very well.
I think it also just depends on like dogs' different kind of play styles. Because like ironically, Bruce and Hershey are like exactly the same way. And like Hershey, he like loves his ball, he loves to play fetch, he loves toys. Bruce, like he likes chews and like chew bones and stuff like that, but other than that, like he's not a big toy player. He has like a tug rope that he likes to tug, but only if you're tugging with him. Bruce is very much the type of dog where like his play style is like he wants to be playing with you or with another dog. He doesn't want to just be playing like fetch or whatever is like not his thing. So like Bruce will like watch Hershey play fetch for a while, and then Hershey will come and like initiate play with Bruce, and then Bruce will like steal his ball, or if Hershey like doesn't see where it goes, Bruce will steal it, and then because he likes to play keep away, right?
Yeah, Steve has always been the bully and always wants to take all, like even from the old dog, if somebody else has it, she wants it. And she's always been that way. And she was like a teeny puppy.
The same way.
Or I say teeny, but she was 4 months when I got her, so she was not teeny. She was she was about the size she is now.
and like it sounds like she kind of has like the like I mean we know that she has like some alpha female stuff going on for sure,
Yeah.
and like I think it's like a combination of like different play style and wanting it like different play style, wanting attention, and then wanting like whatever
Just
like
not knowing how to navigate it and just doing whatever at that
yeah.
point.
Yeah, because if she's also figured out that like whenever she steals the ball or steals a toy or the item or whatever, like if what she's looking for is attention, like whether it's good or bad, she's getting that.
She's gonna get it. Yeah.
Now she has Karma's because like if Karma is just off on her own, like playing by herself,
And that's what
like
she'll do. She'll play with a ball by her, like she'll like hit it with her paw or like her nose. She'll play for hours by herself and be completely fine. She'll have it me throw once in a while, but if I say no, thank you, she continues on.
I wonder if Eve is like, I know it looks snippy and snappy, but I wonder if sometimes she's trying to engage in that play back and forth. Like you had said, Jordan, Bruce likes to play with the other dog rather than by himself. And Cedar's the same way. Cedar will sit and eat a chew, or he'll play tug with you. And that's pretty much what he does for toys too. But he loves to play tug with another dog. And he'll take something from Luna, which completely sets her off. That's a whole thing. But I swear he finds enjoyment in it. And like if she comes to get it, he'll growl at her a little bit, but it's not an aggressive growl. It's this play growl. Like, go ahead, take it, you know?
Yeah.
I
hate that play growl. Oh my gosh, because it never sounds like they're playing.
Sound nice. No, it doesn't. I agree. It sounds aggressive, but when it comes to Cedar, it's definitely not. He's just trying to initiate some play. Do the girls ever play tug with each other?
I think they do try to do that, and
Yeah.
Eve will do it for a little bit, and then Karma will take it too far, and then she gets mad because they do it outside a lot. They'll play. They play more outside than inside.
Yeah.
But yeah, she definitely seems more like playful, growly outside versus inside. Like she'll play for a while, and then if she does get over it, she'll like snap back at Eve. Eve will snap back at Karma, and they'll separate for a little bit. But
yeah, which is fine.
Yeah,
I mean, that's just dogs'
different play styles, and we just gotta
that's really fun. It's funny because like before meeting Jordan and everything, I looked at dog communication so differently. Like growls and snaps and all this stuff was like, oh, they're aggressive and they're gonna hurt somebody. But now it's like, okay, Billy, how else are they gonna communicate with each other? They can't use words. So
oh yes, that my old hound dog, she will, if the puppy gets too excited near her, she's never like actually laid teeth on her, but she'll get like snapping and like it sounds awful, and like people will be over, and when she does that, I'm like, just ignore it. She's just saying she's had enough.
Yeah.
I just tell her to get her ball and go upstairs, and she's like, everyone's fine.
Well, I've definitely been in your shoes with a dog using overcorrections or trying to state their point too aggressively, because Luna has definitely gone through that where she was putting holes in other dogs. So I totally understand like the stress that you feel with that. It's very uncomfortable and it's scary, but there is a way to work backwards from that. Obviously, we want to prevent a dog from getting to that point, but once we're there, we're there. And, it's just going to be your job of like allowing that communication to happen, but in a safer way and stopping it before it escalates, before a dog is over,
right.
Paying attention.
Well, yeah, that's the thing with Eve is there's no like, there's like snapping or there's not. Like she can be fine, and then all of a sudden she like gets that look and someone's bleeding.
Yeah. But you're noticing like how she physically, like how she looks. You're noticing.
Oh yeah. Well, because I had a rescue. He was 4 years old when I had rescued him, and he was very like, I could be eating something and he would bite another dog if they got too close to me.
Mm-hmm.
He would bite another dog if they got close to his food bowl. He would bite another dog if they got too excited and there was no person around to be like, hey, no.
Yeah.
It happened. Honestly, I don't know how many times he had snapped at other dogs because of food situations or whatever.
Yep.
It's just a lot of work. We
It
will get
really
there.
is, but it sounds like the crate training is coming along nicely, which is
Yeah.
definitely a great tool for you. When you notice Eve is doing that, you know, you see that look on her face, it's time for a break, right? It's time to go lay down in our crate, bring our level back down, and then try again, you know. So that'll be a great tool for you to use. And it sounds like you're recognizing that in her. So
Yeah, I'm so surprised they've been doing so well with that. Like
that's
Karma
awesome.
will get a little bit she'll start. I've left them a couple times for a few hours and I have a camera on, and after like an hour Karma will start to howl a little and whine. But she lays down and goes to sleep after a little bit. But yeah, they've done phenomenal with that, thankfully.
That's great.
Should I have they're like 4 feet apart, like right now. Should I move them further apart?
No,
Or is it-
no. If they're doing okay with like settling down and like they're adjusting to it well, then I would say that they're fine. I was just thinking it might have helped like at first when Eve was like really, really anxious, just to give her a little bit more space so she didn't feel like she was trapped in a confined space with Karma so close to her.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah. Because I did
if
not want to have that stress of like them stressing each other out being so close. But they seem to be doing okay now with
yeah,
all of that. I think it was just the first few times I was just putting them in there for a little while I was doing things. I don't know. Eve seemed super, like she was doing that super heavy pants then, but she hasn't done it since that time that I showed you. So maybe she was just being anxious that day and she's getting over it because I don't know, she's doing much better with it now.
Yeah. I think
great.
I know Jordan has said this before, and this is Walter, the one who almost took me out this morning.
Please, Walter.
Jordan has said before about you know, that dogs like to be in a relaxed state, and we, you know, I don't know why I'd never thought of that, but it's so true. Like, why wouldn't they want to feel relaxed or get a break? And you know, my dogs play with other dogs here and there, and you can tell when they're ready for a break and they're relieved to go take it, you know, when they get to go settle down. And
Should should I have one crate for each dog and like not let the other one into it? Because they like afterwards, because they do have treats in there. I have to pick them up very quickly because Eve will always dart in there and try to take whatever Karma had, like
Yeah.
in her area. So I always make sure I get those picked up. But is that I should try to keep them like out of it otherwise, or just let them open, or I'm not sure. I haven't done the crate stuff in quite some time.
So honestly, it that kind of just depends on like the dogs that you have and that you're working with, right? Because like if you have dogs that are like already like kind of have a habit of like resource guarding, or like that's something that like you're worried about or concerned about and you're trying to like mitigate those issues, then yes, I would keep them their crate, like so that one is one is the other, and like they don't really mess with the other ones at all. Especially if we're trying to promote like that space of like
It's
this
safe,
is
calm. Yeah.
safe. Exactly, yeah. And also like, you know, I know with some dogs, like once you do create that safe space, like they will get more territorial of that area. And I would hate to see like Eve try to go take those streets and then Karma like come back and then it become a thing because of it, you know? So like I would probably recommend like letting one out, just go ahead and close the crate right back up after they come out, and then same with the other one. So then you don't have to like rush as much to hurry and make sure that you have everything picked up. Kind of gives you a little bit more time, but you know that those are still staying secure. And then like once they get used to it and maybe like or once they get more experience with it, like if you can teach them each, like, oh, go to your bed, and like they know which crate is theirs and which one is the other one's, then that might like give you a little bit more flexibility to leave the doors open more often. But I know like with my dogs, like if they have the choice to either be in their crate or out of it, they choose to be out of it all the time. And
Right.
like they'll only go back in there if there's like food or treats or something, and then they grab it and come right back out, you know?
Yeah.
So like I would say like leaving the doors closed would probably be like the easiest and the safest option for you just overall.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. There was something else I thought of a few minutes ago and it totally blew my mind. I don't know. Keep talking. I'm sure it'll come back. But have you had Eve like go after Karma, like go after her again recently, or has that been kind of getting better?
No, well, she's only gone after Karma one time, and it was over some stupid toy that Karma wanted, and Eve tried to take. I don't even. I mean, Karma yelped, but she didn't. It seemed to be fine afterwards. I don't think anything actually happened with that one, but she did over me eating food. She did bite another person's dog that had walked in between us, and then our older dog, she bit over a treat toy, and she had like just a little tiny cut by her ear. Like it was the worst one was that very first one, and it's been de-escalating since then, thankfully, knock on wood. So it's been better, and I've been very cautious about what's down, who's where, like all of that stuff.
Awesome. Oh, I remember what I was going to say earlier. So, focusing slightly less on Eve and going to Karma, I think that something that will help you overall as well is getting Karma to like disengage from Eve too, you know, and like teaching Karma that like, okay, like we're not gonna sit here and continue to like press Eve's buttons until she like finally snaps, and like
Yeah, I usually try to redirect if Karma is too focused on Eve, I always try to redirect with anything other than her focus on Eve. I have the e-collars, and since I can't just be out there with them all the time, when Karma is getting like Eve will be sitting here and Karma will like full on like jump up and like bite on her head and shake her head, and I'm just like, we can't have that. Like she's never broken skin, and Karma, like, I mean, Eve just like gets annoyed. Sometimes she'll like jump a little bit back or like bark or snap or something or run away. But you'd think those would be the times that she would be reactive, but it's never then. So I have to just make sure that Karma is not, I just push the buzzer. Usually she'll run away. But yeah, I have to make sure she's not doing that. That's the only time that she's really like won't redirect from it's outside is when Karma won't easily redirect from Eve. Inside she's fine.
Gotcha.
I definitely think that going back and reinforcing that no reward marker and is going to help in situations, because it sounds like she's not fluent, you know, in that disengagement or like being able to redirect her from something like that. So practicing that, we've got some videos and stuff about engage, disengage. But it's just a huge tool to have to be able to pull a dog away from something that they're fixated on. Because if they stay there, they just keep elevating and
yeah, and that's where I notice it is the most is outside with her. But yeah, if usually I can call her away and like we'll throw a toy or I'll throw a stick or like we'll do some puppy sit-ups real quick, or there's something else that I can get her to do so she's just not jumping on.
Right.
But yep, I try to do that, and then like with like Karma whines a lot, and I don't know if it's just because she's a whiny shepherd or if she's trying, like, if she's like, I know I need to do more. Think she's really bored, but like, other than that, like, I don't know how to, should I be being like, what feedback should I give her when she's super whiny like that?
I'll be right back. Can you hear the squeak ball going in the background? No?
I can't hear it over my birds upstairs.
Oh,
so.
thank God. They're going to drive me nuts. I'm going to go get that ball.
I heard it one time. But yeah, that's something I worry about with Karma is
Not right now. Take that one.
like her being, I don't want to I just don't want to like make, I don't know. I don't want to make it worse.
When she's displaying those like whining behaviors, like is it usually towards you, or is it usually towards Eve, or is it like just like, is she just like a vocal dog? Because I know you said she gets more vocal like when you come home. So like, is she just like a vocal dog, period?
Yeah, she's just a vocal dog, period. Like when I come home, she does this high-pitched yip that is awful. It's a very distinct noise. I've noticed it only when I come home. And then other times she'll just be like she'll just be laying there and I'm just like, well, I don't know what to do with that. Like, are you bored? Do we need to do something? Like, what is that?
So Hershey does the same sort of stuff. He like and it's always attention seeking in one way or the other. Like if he because he doesn't just do like the whining, he also will do like and make like these like weird like groans and noises and stuff, and like he'll just like like, and so like
I know that noise because Eve does that noise.
Yeah. And like with Hershey, it's usually one of three things. Either he wants to play, he wants to go outside, or he's jealous because me and my boyfriend are sitting together and there's no room for him to be on the couch next to me. Like those are the only three times that he does it. So like if it's an attention seeking thing, like, and that's
it might be because sometimes I'll be sitting on where there's nowhere for her to sit and she likes to be touching me. So you're probably right.
I would say it's an attention seeking thing. So like obviously like if you know that she does it sometimes if she has to go potty, like I'll ask her, I'm like, do you have to go outside? And then like if he doesn't immediately pop up and like move towards the door, I'm like, okay, obviously outside, he's just for attention, and like at that point, like it's kind of up to you, because like obviously if you give into it every time or adjust or whatever, they're just gonna keep doing it and they're gonna keep doing it more.
Right. Yeah, that's why sometimes I try to ignore it so that way I'm not just doing something every time she does it. If I know like she'd just been out, I had just played with her a little bit ago, like she's probably just bored and just wants something, but she's probably gonna be okay if I just ignore her.
Right. A lot of times what I'll do with Hershey too that like kind of seems to help is like I'll just like tell him I'll be like, all right, quit. Like that's enough, and then like as long as he stops like 5 minutes or so, and then sometimes I'll give him like another chew bone or something like that. Because like I like obviously don't want him just sitting there like frustrated and bored out of his mind and like whatever, and like so, but I'll always make him like stop first, like I won't give it to him like immediately as he's doing that whining behavior or whatever, and like, or if he's like whining and then he stops, I'll like give it like 5 or 10 minutes and be like, all right, you want to go play or something, and then we'll get up and go. But I'll give him a chance to like quiet down and like relax on his own, and then I'll do something with him. Because especially like those high drive like working dogs, like you could work with them all day every day and like stop. Like I tell people that all the time. Like they always ask me if I'll ever get another like chocolate lab or if I'll ever get like German Shepherd Husky mix, and I'm like, probably not, because like they literally shed year round and like they need stimulation all day every day. It's like Whereas like with Bruce, like you can take him for like a 2 mile walk and he is good for the day. You know what I mean? And like you can maybe give him a rest day the next day, like just let him walk outside and watch the birds and he's perfectly content, you know, like so I say all that to say with those really high drive, like working dogs and like those really energetic ones, and especially because Karma is still so young and because she's a vocal dog anyways, I will pretty much guarantee that she just wants attention. Like she just wants you to be focused on her and like keeping her entertained because she either doesn't have something available to do it herself or she just doesn't want to, you know. She's like a toddler and she wants mom to take care of her instead. So but yeah, the less you feed into it, the better. And if anything, definitely just give her stuff that she can have to like keep herself entertained, which I know is hard with Eve as well.
Right. Yeah, it's a fine line. I gotta walk there.
Yes, definitely doesn't make your job easy, that's for sure. But that's all I had on that for right now.
Sounds good.
What else? Anything else? What else?
Do we think that I can't remember if it was one of you guys or the vet that we were talking about the thyroid thing. Like with the dogs that have been the puppy mill dogs, they have this bred in thing where they just feel the need to eat, and that's why Eve wants to eat all the time and eat everybody else in the process. But she's not eating as much. Like I feed her a little bit over a cup sometimes, and they're like leave food left over. Like she doesn't always eat it now. So now I'm worried. I'm like, oh, am I being too hard on her? And now she's getting depressed. Like, what am I? I don't know what to do with this dog. This
You're
dog is
overthinking
like,
it. Don't overthink it. Did you increase the amount of food you were giving to her before? You said you're giving her a little bit more than a cup now. What were you giving her before?
Well, when because I've been cutting Karma back a little bit more because she was a puppy, so I would give her lunch. So I'd try to break up Eve's food a little bit so that she'd have like a little less in the morning and a little less at night so she could have a little bit in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
And sometimes she'll go over to the bin and she'll like punch it. Like, hey, feed me. So like I don't feed her then, obviously, because I don't want her to get in that habit. But yeah, it's weird with her, and I don't know if I should like take her to the vet over this or if it's just like her being moody because we've determined she's a very moody dog. Like that one, I honestly I have no clue what to do with her half the time. She is no thing. Thank you.
I think you would know.
I feel like she's depressed now, and I don't know what to do.
Well, like speaking, dogs have like actual like thyroid issues. You will know because like they're not eating very much and they're ballooning up. Like they like get fat really, really easily. And generally speaking, like a lot of thyroid issues in dogs appear after they've been spayed or neutered. Yeah, and like for some breeds, like German shepherds, like lab, goldens, the dogs that have been like bred a lot and like not very well all the time, you know, they are more prone to having thyroid issues. But another thing that they have bred into like labs specifically is like they don't have the shut off button.
Yeah,
Like
that
tells you that you're full. So they'll just keep eating and eating and eating and eating insatiably. But like I can pretty much guarantee you that like if she's leaving food in her bowl on like any occasion that she doesn't have that problem.
Okay.
Like we're talking about the dogs that would like knock the bin over and like keep eating until you know what I mean? Like those are more so the type of dogs where I'd be like, I would maybe like take her to the vet or like get it checked out. But if it's like you know, I know like with me, like even with me, like there are some days where like by the time it's like 10 o'clock in the morning, I feel like I could like eat an entire elephant and I'm like so hungry. I want to like rage and like destroy my entire kitchen. And then there's like other days where like my stomach doesn't even growl until like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you know? So
Right.
like,
Probably just that. Probably just overthinking it.
yeah.
Got
So
it.
I'm not too concerned about like that specifically, especially like if she wasn't eating lunch for a while and then she was and now like she's not again, like it could be that. It could be like fluctuations in like how much water she's had that day, how much exercise she's had that day. Like maybe like they had less treats the day before than they did today, or like whatever the case may
Could be a
be.
lot of variables.
Right, exactly. And so like unless she's like gaining weight, unless like you're feeding her the same amount of food and like you see her start gaining weight and you're like, why are you getting so fat? Like I haven't changed anything. Or like if she stops eating altogether, if you start noticing like extreme fluctuations in like her energy levels, like if she eats and then like 30 minutes later she's absolutely off the walls berserk and you're like, what is happening? Like that could all be indications of like an underlying issue because her body like isn't using the food properly or like digesting it properly. But like if it's just a matter of like sometimes she wants to eat a little more and sometimes a little less, like I wouldn't stress about that.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah.
I won't stress it then.
Oh, the other one is if you see her start like chugging water, like way more than usual, like if she's just like drinking and drinking and drinking and drinking, that's another sign of thyroid like issues
Gotcha.
in dogs. So like unless you see like a noticeable change in her behavior, I wouldn't.
Probably not that.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else while we're here?
I think we covered all the things. I don't think I have any more questions.
Excellent. Excellent.
It sounds like you're already on it, Kori. It sounds like you've already taken like what we've kind of suggested previously and implemented that. And it sounds like things are starting to get better already. I think just paying attention to, you know, whether they're over threshold or not, you know, do they need a break? You know, what's going on right now? It sounds like you've been on it. And I think that, you know, you continue to do that and you're on the right track. So
Cool.
yeah, work on those. Let's practice those people greetings for sure. Set up some of those scenarios to practice that expectation and definitely work on that no reward marker and do some engage, disengage. So you have a few more tools. Does that make
Gotcha.
sense?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I was going to tell you too. I almost forgot, but since you have like the e-collars and like they have the beep on them, you can kind of use those as well. Like when you're working on like the people greetings, like if you're afraid that they're going to be able to like drag you on the leash or something like that, like essentially like what you can do is just use it on like the beep setting. So like because normally with dogs, like when they hear that beep, they're like, you know, like at the very least they'll like whip their head around like, what was that? Which is the perfect opportunity for you to like reward them for like disengaging and not continuing to elevate. You can just kind of use them as like a disruption tool more than
Yeah.
anything.
A lot of times if Karma is out there and she's stalking Eve, I use it then to be like, hey, this is over here. Stop doing that. And she does really, really well with it. Yeah,
You're rewarding
really
that
well with
engagement. You know, when she does disengage, reward that so she knows that, you know, making the right choices, you know, rewarding for her.
good. Yeah, rewarding.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Sounds like you're killing it. So
It does. I knew she would.
yeah.
Okay. I'm glad. Yeah, nope, it's been way better like the last couple of weeks so far.
Good.
So
That's awesome. Well, or if you need anything pops up, you have questions, just reach out.
Oh, absolutely. You guys have been so great. I have every time I get worried or have a question, you guys have been right there to answer it. I appreciate it so much.
Oh,
Thank
that's
you.
what we're here for.
Absolutely. You guys are amazing. I'm so glad. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
And thank you for being an awesome client. So we got
Absolutely.
me and Billy have gotten lucky with like our first like clients of the company. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you guys have been awesome, and like obviously you're a pleasure to work with because like everything we tell you, you're like, I'm on it, and then we get awesome updates, and it's fantastic. So yeah, just let us know if anything else comes up or if you need anything, and keep us updated on your foot too. However,
Yeah, thank you. A couple more weeks.
yeah. All right, y'all.
We'll let you go and just keep us updated on how things are going.
Awesome. I will. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye.
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 I stop recording.